Let's talk about my first 3 months on a GLP-1. Hello and welcome. I'm Southern CJ, and this is my GLP-1 weight loss journey. Today I'm going to be recapping my first 3 months on a GLP-1 compound. It's a semaglutide compound prescribed to me for weight loss by my doctor. First, I want to talk about why I chose to use a GLP-1 for weight loss. Well, the simple truth is, I had tried everything else. I've struggled with my weight my entire life. I've struggled with some health problems that were related to an autoimmune disease that had to do with my thyroid. I've also struggled with inflammation and lymphedema. So I'd like to break up today's video in three and touch briefly on each month. And I want to talk about the first things I noticed, the very first shot that I took. I can't say I noticed anything that night. I took it in the afternoon. I usually take my shot after lunch on Tuesday afternoon. The first time I took it, I can't say that I really felt anything. Of course, I was like, worried. Was I going to have some rare side effect? Anyway, so the first week that I took my shot, I did start to gradually notice. Well, the first thing I noticed was a more full, satisfying, like I got full quicker. So, and I stayed full longer. I can't say that the food noise had just suddenly disappeared overnight, but by the end of the week, I could tell that this was definitely different than anything I've tried before. I just want to add a quick disclaimer that I am not a doctor and I am not giving anyone medical advice, that I am just sharing my experiences with my weight loss journey. So, after trying keto, carnivore, you name it, and actually being at my highest weight of 277 when I started that was not my highest weight of all time, but I had managed over the last few years to lose some and regain and lose and regain and lose before I started the GLP-1, which I knew right away after the first week that this was different. So, not only in my appetite suppression, I got full quicker, so I was eating smaller portions. I was staying full longer, so I wasn't having, 3 snacks a day plus dessert, you know. Um, but I also really saw it in the inflammation in my body, especially in my legs, where I suffered the most from it. Did it completely disappear? No, but I can say that every week it seems to be getting better and better. So that first month, I want to say, I'll put up here on the screen the numbers of what I lost. I was hoping to lose 10 pounds a month, but I've been just shy of that. And honestly, the goal really is for healthy weight loss, not just a number on the scale. But I also like to set these goals for myself to kind of encourage me to kind of meet that goalpost. So let's talk about some of the side effects I had that first week. I did have a bit of nausea. My doctor had prescribed some nausea pills. I don't know if it was Zofran. I think it's the generic of that. It's something like that. Talk to your doctor. Get it ahead of time if you haven't started yet. Go ahead and get that prescription ahead of time to have it on hand. Um, I did have a little bit of nausea, but it wasn't anything where I was running to the toilet, which brings me to the next symptom, which I think out of all of them, that was probably my most uncomfortable symptom or side effect. Sorry, why I say symptom when it's really side effect. But was the constipation. I had that really bad the first week, couple of weeks. I'd say for the whole month. But, uh, I took some stool softeners. I also tried Metamucil, which now I'm on the gummies. I take 3 gummies every day to kind of keep that in check. I also had some Miralax, which isn't my favorite thing to use because it just didn't make me feel good, even though it was the thing that really relieved the major constipation for me. But I got through it. Oh, yeah, I couldn't drink coffee anymore. So my taste buds began to change a bit. So I still like the thought of coffee, but to drink it, it still makes me nauseous. So I've just stuck with green tea and herbal teas, and I've been fine with that. I really haven't missed it that much. So that was month 1. So for my second month, I was beginning to get more into the routines of my daily activities of doing my shake plate twice a day, doing a daily walk. I'll put up here on the screen my weight as well as a side by side so you could see. I think I was down 15 pounds. I did have a new side effect, which was kind of like a burning sensation, tingling on the skin, right around where my waist was, where I would wear a belt or elastic. It wasn't painful, it was bothersome. I noticed it there, kept rubbing it, thinking it was my clothes irritating me. Come to find out, it was kind of a phantom nerve thing going on. I don't know. There's a name for it. I did some research on it and found out that it was not uncommon and that it usually goes away. So there was nothing, no rash on the skin or anything like that. So I really wasn't that concerned about it. And sure enough, by the end of, I want to say, month 2, maybe just in the beginning of month 3, it completely subsided. So I no longer have that. So month 2 went by really fast. So that leads me into month 3. And I have to say, I have not noticed any new side effects. I did notice a bit of hair shedding, which I covered in previous videos. Also, too, after some reflecting, I've realized that there are some other things that I hadn't really noticed. But on reflection, I am now aware of. One of them are some of the hobbies that I used to really enjoy, but for some reason, I just can't be bothered with currently. Doesn't mean I won't pick them up, like piano. Over the last couple of years, I've been reteaching myself and relearning the piano. And since I started the GLP-1, for some reason, I just can't be bothered. Like, I literally have only sat down once to practice some of the songs, and I don't know why. At first, I was being really hard on myself about it, like, oh, what's wrong with you? Why are you giving up? And it really isn't that I'm giving up. I still enjoy music. It's just, I have so much other stuff that I want to be doing. It's hard to explain, but the desire is just like, when I get around to it. Another thing is I am an artist. I love art. I actually have a separate channel that is just dedicated to art. And also, too, I haven't been finding as much time for that lately either. Again, I was being a little hard on myself, but now I'm realizing maybe that's just part of the journey. And we really do only have so much time in our days that, sometimes you have to pick and choose what is most important to you. And currently, right now, my health, and of course, my family activities, my daily life, getting into routines, those things have become more important and valuable to me than, say, some of my hobbies. Let me know if you've experienced this, if you've been on a GLP-1. I hear it's pretty normal for that to happen. How long it continues, is it forever? I don't know. Like I said, I'm just on this journey. I'm just sharing my experience with you so that maybe in some way it could help you if you're thinking about the GLP-1 or you have also been on this journey. So I do think that there are some positive side effects to the GLP-1 as well. I've noticed, like I was saying, a lot of the inflammation has gone down out of my body. I'm becoming more mobile. This month, I've really trying to make a point of walking outdoors more often and enjoying getting out into the sunshine. Of course, that could just be with the warmer weather coming and everything, but I do feel like my confidence is getting better. So I will go ahead and tell you the results of my weight at the end of 12 weeks. I am now down exactly 20 pounds. So this morning I weighed in at 257 pounds. I am very pleased with that. 20 pounds in 12 weeks for me is I'm just so thrilled with that. I just want to keep it going. I want to keep the momentum going. So, some of the things that I've enjoyed eating this week. So, some of the things I've been enjoying this week as far as food, as I stated in previous videos, I've grown very tired of overnight oats. I haven't even been making them the last 2 weeks. One morning I did find myself just wanting to throw together some leftovers that I had the night before, which were like these meatballs that I just tossed into some leftover veggies and made a really great soup out of, and I actually ate that for breakfast. So don't be afraid to eat things out of the norm. Like, have dinner for breakfast or breakfast for dinner. There are no rules to this. You do what's right for your body. And that's kind of what I've just been trying to learn to trust my body again, because the GLP-1 has allowed me to do that. That when I do get cravings, I'm able to pause and say, is this really something I want? And also letting go of that need for perfection. I think for me, if I adhere to something strict and restrictive, after a while, I begin to resent that. I know some of y'all understand what I'm saying out there. So I feel like I've been able to have some treats like for my birthday and vacation. And even over the Easter weekend, we went out. I had trout. It was wonderful. I had a few things I wouldn't normally eat or drink, like a glass of wine. That's okay. It If I only have a little bit of that thing, and it really is spaced out and not like, well, I have a treat for lunch, and well, maybe I'll have a treat for dinner, and while I'm at it, a treat for dessert. No, none of that. Nah, no. Reasonable, but see, the old me couldn't really reason those things out. Like the GLP-1 has allowed my brain to somehow pause and say, think about this for a minute. And so it has allowed me to make better choices. Did I get lost on a tangent there? I don't know. Let's get back on track. Let's talk about doses. So I started out, because mine is a compound, it's dosed out differently than, like, I don't know what the conversion is, so I'll just speak in units. I started out on 10 units, and after my first 4 weeks, after that first month, it went up to 20 units, and I've been on 20 units ever since. I do have an appointment with my doctor in just a few days for a re-evaluation, so I'm not really sure how I feel about titrating up at this moment. I'm feeling good where I'm at, but I'm also feeling like if he suggests I go up, I might consider that. I'll probably will follow what he suggests. I don't see the rush of titrating up if I'm losing weight and I'm staying satisfied for the most part. Last night I did get hungry. I behaved myself. I had a little bit of a snack, but I didn't go crazy. I knew it was because today is shot day. And honestly, today I've been fine. Like this morning I had my protein shake, which brings me back around to the food we were talking about. That's what we were talking about. We were talking about what I've been eating this week. Because my appetite hasn't been the best for breakfast, I decided to go ahead and get some of these Oikos vanilla protein shake for days that I need something to grab. I'm getting ready to go do something, or I just can't be bothered with food. Some mornings are like that for me. One thing that we did make over the Easter weekend were some steak with some sauteed mushrooms, and I roasted some of these little mini potatoes. I think they're called honey gold, in some olive oil and rosemary with garlic. They were so yummy, done in the air fryer. Easy peasy. And as far as portion control goes, I eat off of small dishes, meaning I eat off the saucer size. That's another little tip for you if you're trying to do this without counting calories, but rather just portion control, is use the smaller dishes. Like for my yogurt, I'll use literally just a glass cup, and that's just the perfect size. I use saucer size for dinner and lunch, and I just really enjoy dishing up my food, that was a tip I heard from another YouTuber, is go ahead and dish up. Plate your food. Let it be in front of you so you can see it laid out. Even if I'm just having crackers with some guacamole, I put it out on the saucer so my brain can see it, versus in the bag where I'm just mindlessly pulling it out of the bag into my mouth. It works for me. I'm a visual person, so it makes me feel like, oh yes, I'm sitting down for a meal now. So I hope that makes sense. Well, I'm not rambling too much. If you were to ask me what the number one advice, if you are afraid of injections, I used to be someone that was afraid of needles, and especially I was afraid of shots in my stomach. But honestly, the needles that they give you for the insulin syringes is what they give you for the compound, most places anyway. They are so tiny, so small, like it just goes under the skin. It's not going deep into your muscle or anything like that. Um, I I really haven't had any pain with the injections, which is probably the number one advice I could give people is don't be afraid. You know, with anything, things get easier with practice the more you do it. So each week does get better. I've tried also multiple spots, first the back of the arm, the thigh, the stomach, and my favorite really is the stomach. I know that's ironic to be saying that, but it's true. I feel like I have the least side effects when I inject into my stomach, and it's just easier, you know. I don't have to totally, you know, undress or anything like that. It's just more accessible. And again, I really don't feel the injection. Um, what other advice could I give to you? Don't give up. Just keep at it. You know, do what's best for your mental health to get through this process, and just love yourself. Love yourself more. All right, I'm going to end it there. And I want to thank you for watching. If you'd like to keep up to date with my weight loss progress, please subscribe. And please do me a big favor and give me a thumbs up, because it really does help my channel to grow and for the YouTube algorithm to push it out so other people may see this beneficial content. All right. Love and light, and I'll see you soon.